What's up, guys? This is JC from Team Night coming back at you guys with another video. So today there's gonna be no gameplay today because we've all been busy a little bit with the new holidays coming up with Thanksgiving and all that. So we haven't really had a chance to really record the more games of the Lyrical Monasteria set that we had, but we'll be resuming it soon enough. But today I'm just gonna be going to a deck profile today with one of the Lyrical Monasteria decks, and this is gonna be none other than Clarissa, which is one of the decks I think that's gonna be strong in this format. And this is pretty much a dragon deck. We just call it for what it is. It's pretty much a dragon deck. So with the new set that we got a lot of 6 different ride lines. One was from the trial deck and another 5 more from the set. So we got pretty much a couple of them are strong, but today I'm going to be talking about, I think this deck is going to be a lot stronger than it's being given credit for. So let's get into the deck profile. So these are pretty much the ride line for Clarissa. So the 0, pretty much the starter, is pretty much generic. If you go second, you get to draw a card. The grade 1 for it is that when it's placed on rearguard, you can when it's placed on Vanguard by the grade 1, which is Clarissa Dungan Will, you get to look up top 7 cards of your deck, choose one grade 1 or less from among them with Earnescorrect in his card name from among them, reveal it, put into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Right there and then, it literally gives you a way to get units to your hands early. And the second skill that it has is, this is a Vanguard ability. During your turn, if you do not have a rear guard, this unit gets plus 5k, so it's pretty much a 13k beat stick. So yeah. And then when you go to the second grade 2 for Clarissa, there's pretty much a ride chain if you think about it. You have to go from the 0, you have to have the right 0, the right grade 1 to get the skills off. So the second one is pretty much when it's placed from Vanguard, and if you rode by from a Challenger Clarissa, you get the Soul Blast 1, you get to look, once again, you get to look from top 7 cards of your live deck, and you get to choose a grade 2 or less in his card with Earnescorrect in his card name, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So pretty much this deck is literally try to help you get the pieces you need for the deck to get into your hand, helping you build hand before you attack. So if you think about it this way, you're pretty much twin driving on your ride line if you think about it, because you're plussing 1 from each of their skills. So it's building up your hand early for you so you can get your stuff off. And once again, it has a generic skill during your turn. If you have no rear guards, this unit gets plus 5k, which makes it a 15k beat stick. And then we're going to the main grade 3 of the deck, which is the bread and butter in the deck. So we're gonna this is Earnescorrect leader Clarissa. Sorry if I don't pronounce that right. So it's pretty much the grade 3 of the main boss of the deck. So when this unit is placed on Vanguard, on Vanguard, and written by Invoke Clarissa, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 aim to be strongest idol. So pretty much this is an order card. This lets you search for, and later on in the video you'll know what the order card does. So you get to reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and that's it. But when he attacks, the second ability that makes it really good, and this is a Vanguard ability, when this unit attacks hit, you can draw a card and choose one of your rear guard with Earnescorrect in his card name. It gets plus 5,000 right there and then. It gives you a plus 1 for every time it hits. So, but by just hitting the rear guard, Vanguard or rear guard, anything like that, if pretty much it is an Earnescorrect card, you get to draw a card from it, and then you get to choose one of your rear guards and give it to 5,000. So it beefs it up. And it's not a once per turn skill too. So let's get into it. And of course, you do have in this deck profile, you do have to play the remaining 3, which makes the playset of the grade 3, because you need to Persona Ride in this deck. And yeah, you have the Persona Ride. And then from there, we're gonna jump to some of the cards. This deck is a little bit weird when it comes to space, but you do have a little space to put some text in. And the first one I'm gonna talk about today is gonna be one of the grade 3s that came in the set, and this is pretty much this for Earnescorrect in a support card. I'm playing 2 of it, and her ability is a rearguard ability. At the end of battle that this unit attack, you can counterblast 1, put this card into the bottom of your library, bottom of your deck, and draw a card, and you can choose a unit with Earnescorrect in his card name, give 5,000. So it's pretty much another way to buff up one of your rear guards or your Vanguard if you haven't Persona Ride. So it gives you another little power boost if you need it. And then we're going to jump to one of the grade 3s, the main grade 3. This is where the deck gets scary, and where this deck, I believe what makes this deck really strong, and this is pretty much the order card aimed to be the strongest title. This is an order card. So let me read what the order card does for you. So on turn, all your cards with Earnescorrect in their name get plus 5,000. So right there, it gives every card in your field a power boost, which is 5,000 power. So your 10Ks become 15K, your 8Ks become 13Ks, and so on and so forth. And then that's not where the deck gets a little scary. It's if your opponent's if your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, so your opponent has to be at grade 3 or greater. You get to choose one of your units with Earnescorrect leader Clarissa in its card, and it gets continuous. When this unit attack, choose 3 of your opponent's Vanguard or rear guards, and this unit attacks them in 1 attack. So let's just make it a little simple for you guys. So when you play this order, all your units with Earnescorrect in their names gain 5,000. That's it right there. And then you get to choose one of your Vanguard, which is your leader, which is a grade 3. You get to automatically add the skill to her, where every time she attacks, she attacks 3 cards every with the order on board. So remember, if you remember correctly during the video, that her ability is every time she hits, she gets to draw a card and give one unit plus 5,000. And this unit is not a once per turn skill. So every time she hits, she gets to give a unit 5,000, so in it stacks. You get to, for every circle you hit, which is a rear guards, and it's another way to say retire, but you're just attacking them, forcing them not to be able to use those units. And if there's a unit that's problematic for you in the game, on their field, she just swings at it in 1 attack, and then that's already 3 cards off their board right there with just her attacking. And then that's pretty much what it does. So this deck only plays this order only in the deck, so which is a very strong order. And then now we're jumping to grade 2s. So one of the grade 2s I play in this deck is pretty much Evelyn. So her ability is also for Earnescorrect. I only just play one of her. A lot of people play different. Your ratios could be different as you want them. When this unit is put onto your Guardian circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose one of your unit with Earnescorrect in its name, and give it plus 10,000 until the end of battle. So pretty much this is pretty much you put this in the Guardian circle, and you can Soul Blast 1 and give your Vanguard an extra plus 10k for into the end battle, making it 23. It's like a 15k shield if you think about it that way. And then to get the to get Clarissa's ability off, you need the different you literally need different grade different units with Earnescorrect in their name, so you get the skill off. And this is gonna be one of them I'm going to talk about right now. We're playing 4 of Earnescorrect member Corina. Her ability is scary, if you put it that way. When it attacks at the when the attack of the Earnescorrect leader Clarissa on your Vanguard hits, you can counterblast 1, discard a card, and stand this unit. So this is pretty much your restanding card in the deck. So the deck gets, if you think about it, gets 5 attacks every single turn if you have the counterblast. Her ability just being able to, after your Vanguard attacks, for every time it hits, you get to counterblast 1, restand it. So for every time your Vanguard hit. So just be aware if they PG and protect all those rear guards, she would not stand. But most of the time, nobody's gonna really spend their time to protect all those rear guards. Say you're attacking the 1,000 on the board, nobody's gonna really spend that much shield value just to keep you from drawing cards. So every single turn she will be standing. So you're playing 4 of her because the deck requires you to have at least 4 different Earnescorrect cards with grid cards on the board with different names. So you have to play 4 of them. And the next Earnescorrect, which is the other grade 2 in the deck, is Earnescorrect member Evelyn. Yeah, I believe I pronounced that right. And this is one of the cards in the board, a really good card. So her ability is, when this unit is placed on rear guard from your hand, it has to be from your hand. If you have a Vanguard with a leader Clarissa on his name, you can bless 1. And you can search your deck for a grade 2 or less Earnescorrect card in this name and reveal it. And then if you do not have any rear guards on board with the same name, you call it to open rear guard. So pretty much, it's a lot of text, but pretty much what it does is when you play it from your hand, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for a grade 2 or less with Earnescorrect in this card name that you don't have the same name on the board, and you get to call it to the board. So it's another way to get your units out, which is so you can get her ability off. So this deck is really consistent because of that. So you have to play 4 of her. And then we're gonna jump to grade 1s. The grade 1s is you gotta play the new PGs. The PGs is you need them in the deck, so there's nothing much to say about them. And this is another Earnescorrect card, which is the grade 1. Her ability is when your Vanguard attack hits, this unit gets plus 5,000 until end turn. So she's a 5k, which is not really strong, but with your grade 3 Vanguard, where for every time she hits, she gets buffer. And she's not a once per turn. So if you attack 3 units on board, she automatically gets plus 15k right there. She's literally a 20k booster or a 20k attacker. What much to say about that? And she's another Earnescorrect card you need in your deck. And then the other one we're playing in the deck, this is pretty much the last grade 3 ones in the deck, and you have to play a playset of him. This is another Earnescorrect supporter, Lino. Her ability is pretty much simple. When your other rear guards with Earnescorrect in his card name is retired during your opponent's turn, you can, if this unit's on your rear guard, you can Soul Blast 1, discard a card from hand, and return that card to your hand. So pretty much what it does, it's another way to get your units back. So if your opponent decides to just focus on the rear guards, if you have the soul and the cards in hand, you can literally discard the card that they attack and try to retire, let it hit, and you can just bounce that card back to your hand. So pretty much, with this deck, you're really not losing any resources on board. You are losing it, but she's helping you from getting rid from your opponent focus only on your rear guards. So if they focus on your rear guards, they're not going to attack your Vanguard, but you're still getting the unit back anyway. So this deck is a little bit weird because it makes it so hard to decide which one you want to attack. Whether you want to attack the Vanguard only and focus on that and leave your units on board, leave all their units on board when it's correct, or do you want to interrupt them but they still get the card back? So it makes it very difficult to figure out this deck. So you have to play a playset of her. And then for triggers, you definitely have to play 8 crit because you don't want to be sitting there. You want to push the game as fast as possible, so you have to play 8 crit in the deck. So your ratio is up to you how you want to build them. But for now, I'm doing 8 crit. The other one is going to be 3 fronts. You don't want to really play draws in this deck because you do draw like crazy, and you will deck yourself out if you play too many draws. I play 3 fronts. You can change it up and put 4 fronts and 7 crits. It's really up to you how you want to play the deck. And then you got to play the really strong over trigger that we got in this set. So pretty much it's pretty much Dark State's over trigger, but a lot better. This is version 2.0, if you would put it that way. Its ability is pretty much, this is when it hits, you get the additional effect doing this fight, doing all your turns on your rear guards get plus 10,000. So pretty much, remember I forgot what the name of the Dark State one is named. Sorry, it's not coming to mind right now. But her ability is when you hit it on the offensive, for the rest of the turn, you get all your rear guards get plus 10k. So pretty much that literally right there makes this card really scary because every turn your bonus unit getting 10,000 for each of them, the plus 20k to all of them is kind of scary because then you can literally throw anything on board and still be making magic numbers. And then on that's pretty much what it does. On defensive, you get to heal and draw cards. It's still good, but I think this card is really good. And then we gotta play 4 heals. If you're not playing heals in this game, you already know you're not playing it right. So yeah. So my thoughts on this deck. So the positive part of this deck is I think this deck is really strong for what it could do, and it's so consistent. I was play testing with my buddy Venex, and this deck the cat deck could not survive it because the amount of pressure this deck puts on you when it comes to their attacks, and no matter what you do, you attack his rear guards, he just gets them back. You are attacking Vanguard only, yeah, it's good and all, but next turn he's just gonna onslaught you. The only weakness of this deck is if you don't get your order card, you're having a hard time. That's the only thing about it. Or if you're not getting your pieces, which is, this deck's a lot consistent. It's very rarely that you won't get the pieces you need, which is the different Earnescorrect members, which is a grade 2 or grade 1 on the field so you can attack with. That's the only way this deck will have a weakness. But so far from all the playing, I think this deck is really strong. I know a lot of people was liking the cat deck, which is, but believe me or not, that cat deck is strong. It's really strong for all the text on that card. But I think this is the other runner-up that is one of the decks that I think people should be playing, because it will give any other deck a run for their money. So, on the comments down below, let me know what you guys think of this deck. If anyone want to do any changes. So far, I played this deck. I've seen them play it. There's not many room to do any changes, any tweaks to it until we get more support for them. Hopefully, we do get more support for this deck itself. And yeah, so once again, let me know what you guys think about it. If you liked the video today, please put a like and subscribe. And you can always follow us on our Twitter page. Yeah, so this is Jason from Team Night Ride signing out. And I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful holiday.